Hi, good morning everyone. My name is Tom Tsao and I'm the founding partner and chairman of Gobi Partners. I'm absolutely delighted to be with all of you this morning as I go through my presentation, Crouching Panda, Hidden Tapir, Connecting North Asia with Southeast Asia. So let me go through my presentation. First of all, again, as I was saying, a big, warm welcome for all the startups here this morning. We're absolutely delighted that we can be working with Alibaba Cloud for this Asia Tech Startup Day. As many of you may know, Gobi, we love Alibaba and we've developed a very strong partnership with Alibaba and Alibaba Cloud over all these years. As you can see from this slide, Gobi, we help to manage the Alibaba Hong Kong Entrepreneurs Fund. We've been a strong supporter and we help organize the Jumpstarter Global Pitch Competition in Hong Kong. And again, that attracts startups from all around the world. Here I am standing next to some very famous people, including Carrie Lam and Jack Ma and Joe Tsai and Bernard Chan. We've co-invested with Alibaba. For example, in Southeast Asia, we're a co-investor with Alibaba in the biggest e-commerce enabler based in Singapore called Synergy. So if you're looking to bring over your products to Southeast Asia, really reach out to us and see how you can link up with Synergy. And finally, we've brought many of our startups from Southeast Asia, and I think even from North Asia, I think that's going to happen. We've brought many of our startups to train at the eFounders Fellowship at Alibaba's headquarters in Hangzhou. And again, this little circle here is me, and again, there's Jack in the middle. So again, Gobi, we've worked with Alibaba, and we have nothing but the best things to say about Alibaba and Alibaba Cloud. Who is Gobi? What can I tell you about what we do? Well, Gobi, we're a venture firm focused primarily on early stage, and we've been doing this now for 19 years. In fact, next year we celebrate our 20th anniversary. Gobi today, we started off in Shanghai, but we've grown our footprint now to a regional footprint all across Asia. We're in 13 locations, and we have about 1.2 billion US dollars AUM, assets under management. And we've backed more than 270 startups around Asia. And hopefully we can help support some of you in the audience today. Here we've listed some of our unicorns, our most recent ones that you may have heard of, where Gobi was an early investor. For example, in the fintech space, companies like Airwallex, right? Amber is more in kind of the NFT crypto space. Animoca brands. Animoca is in the NFT space. AutoX is in autonomous driving, right? And they're based out in the Greater Bay. Carsome, Malaysia's first unicorn. And they're in the kind of used car trading platform, and they're the biggest one now in Southeast Asia. If you've heard of companies like Carvana in the US, Carsome is very similar to them. Of course, GoGoX, a very famous company, again, started in Hong Kong. They're kind of like an Uber for logistics, and they are getting ready for a Hong Kong IPO that should happen by the end of this year. Prenetics is in the healthcare space. They were the ones who really developed these quick response COVID test kits. And the CEO, Danny Young, really helped the English Premier League get back online during COVID with Prenetics test. And they also have launched a new product called the Circle Health Pod. One of our earliest unicorns was in the travel space, in the tour packages called Tuniu, and they were based out in China. And finally, just to highlight WeLab, really proud of them. They are one of the first digital banks in Hong Kong, doing extremely well, and now expanding into Indonesia and the rest of Southeast Asia. So I just wanted to give all of you an idea of some of the companies that Gobi has backed. In terms of up-and-coming startups, right? I don't know how many of you are aware, but Forbes Asia had the top 100 startups to watch, to keep an eye on. And of that 100 startups, Gobi actually backed 10% of those companies. 10 of those startups, we were the early backers. Companies like Cloud Eats, right? Ntrack, Farm66, MyCloud, just to list a couple here. So we backed 10% of the Forbes 100 to watch list. Now let me share with you some of our strategies and what we do. What does kind of connecting North Asia to Southeast Asia actually mean? Where we believe Gobi can bring an edge is through knowledge transfer. I've often said this, quote, ready? We are from the future because we've seen the same trends in China, Japan, and Korea before. So again, North Asia is a little bit ahead in terms of its development. We can take that knowledge and bring it to Southeast Asia. And I think that's a big opportunity for all of you in the audience today, right? A lot of the things you're doing is easily transferable and can find a big market here in Southeast Asia. So how can Gobi help you get into Southeast Asia? Well, we accelerate value creation through, again, our partnerships on the ground. I think it's very, very important for startups from Korea, Japan, and China. You have to localize. Just like it was difficult for startups or the big tech companies from the US or Europe to come into North Asia, it's also true that if you're coming from North Asia and you're going to Southeast Asia, you have to localize. And what Gobi has done, we've been now in Southeast Asia for more than 10 years. We've built a series of partnerships on the ground, right? Media partners, regional partners, right? Like Alibaba, MUFG, and GS Shop, right? And more importantly, we've built out partnerships with government agencies, accelerators, corporates, in all the major markets in Southeast Asia. And again, Gobi, we have 6 offices in Southeast Asia. We're in Bangkok, Manila, Ho Chi Minh. Our headquarters is in Kuala Lumpur, Singapore, and of course, Jakarta. And these are the partnerships we've built with groups on the ground that we can bring to help you. What's another way? The second way is we can create linkages between Gobi's existing portfolio companies in Southeast Asia and to you, right? That's another way a venture capital firm can help startups, right? So Gobi, we probably have one of the largest portfolios in Southeast Asia. We've already invested in more than 60 companies, 60 startups, many of them doing similar things to what you're doing in Southeast Asia, and we can help connect you to them. For example, in Malaysia, we've invested in 23 startups, Indonesia, 12, Singapore, 12, Vietnam, 2, Thailand, 6, and 6 in the Philippines, right? Some notable ones, the bigger ones, in Malaysia, for example, Carsum, Malaysia's first unicorn. Another company that's doing really well that I want to highlight is Aerodyne, right? They're in the drone as a service space, and I'm going to talk more about them later. In Indonesia, we're in very, very successful companies like Travelio and GoWork. And in Singapore, tech companies like vSense that have installed, right, their visual search engines in all the leading mobile phone manufacturers. And of course, in Thailand, MyCloud Fulfillment is doing extremely well. And our fintech company, Phenomena, they're like the Robin Hood of Southeast Asia, is getting ready for a listing in Thailand. And in the Philippines, a real breakout winner for us has been Kumu in the live streaming space. How else can Gobi help you? Well, you have to have boots on the ground. And here I'm proud to say that Gobi, we've built out one of the largest on-the-ground teams in Southeast Asia across 6 offices. We have more than 30 people now who can help you, and you can see our team members across Southeast Asia. And historically, Gobi, we've always tried to build linkages with Japan and Korea. And here what I wanted to show is, for example, some of our investors are from Japan, like NTT Docomo and Sony, right? So we already work with Japanese investors. More importantly, many Japanese investors have acquired or co-invested with Gobi into Southeast Asian startups. So for example, Aerodyne, the drone company, right? Look at all the Japanese investors that invested. Carsum, some of the big investors are MUFG and Daiwa. Hermo was an online cosmetics e-commerce company. It was actually acquired by iStyle, which is listed in Japan. And you can see other companies like iPrice, price comparison engine, right? Japanese investors. iStore, iSend, in kind of the warehousing, the fulfillment space for e-commerce, just raised money from Yamato through the Koroneko Innovation Fund. And of course, Jernexu was invested in by SBI, and they are a fintech company. And look at some of the things. We've worked with Jetro and MDEC in Japan, and Gobi, before COVID, we would organize what we call the Sakura event, where we would bring leading Southeast Asian companies to Japan, right? And now what we're looking for is to help Japanese startups come into Southeast Asia, right? So make it a two-way linkage. In Korea, right? I just wanted to show this photo. The Gobi team, in fact, we had our LP meeting in Pyeongchang, right? This was in 2019, before COVID. It was a wonderful time, and I can't wait to go back skiing there again. Our Korean linkages are very strong as well. GS Shop, now called GS Retail, is one of our strong partners and supporters, and we love working with them as well. A lot of our companies have received funding from Korean investors. For example, like Animoca Brands, the unicorn I mentioned before. AutoX raised money from Nexon. Again, iPrice, not only Japanese investors, but also Korean investors. And in fact, Norma is a company we invested into, based in Korea, but we invested into them from our China fund because they had such a strong connection and we're trying to grow from Korea to China. And again, we invested into Norma with Korea Investment Partners and Korea Tech Guarantee and SBI. So again, just wanted to highlight some of the things that Gobi has already done with the Japanese and Korean tech ecosystems. Finally, I know later on you're going to have one-on-one meetings, and my partner for Gobi Korea, Jung-un, or we just call him JE, will be joining you. He is a fantastic individual. As a startup, you will love meeting him because he was also an entrepreneur. He's from Korea, studied in the US, but now lives in Kuala Lumpur like I do. So we're actually based in Southeast Asia, and there's nothing more we would like to do than work with you and Alibaba Cloud to help you as you think about your expansion strategies to Southeast Asia. And finally, again, we had this big conference. This was the pre-COVID days. It feels like so long ago. But again, this is our little mascot. This is the crouching panda, and here is the hidden tapir. And again, I really believe that's a great kind of summary for our strategy, right? Again, connecting North Asia with Southeast Asia, we think is a fantastic strategy. And I'm so happy to be able to spend some time with you this morning. And again, please reach out to us. We're on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or connect with me directly on LinkedIn. I get a lot of requests. So if you want to connect with me, Thomas G. Tsao, just say, hey, I met you through this Alibaba Cloud Asia Tech Day, and I will gladly connect with you. So once again, I want to thank all my friends at Alibaba Cloud for inviting me, and to all the other great speakers and organizers. This is a fantastic conference, and I hope this was a useful presentation for you as you embark on this exciting journey. So once again, thank you so much. Bye-bye.